All right, we are live. What's going on, guys? All right, let me get back over here. Okay. All right, so kind of doing this a little different this time versus seeing me. I mean, I know I'm beautiful and everything, but versus seeing me, we're just going to jump right into the piece because this piece is a little bit bigger because I'm going to be doing the whole entire thing, I believe. So without further ado, this is Welcome to Coloring with Jeff. And I believe, yes, the comment section is open. So if you guys, wherever you guys are on Facebook or on YouTube, please feel free to comment. We can have a conversation. You can ask me questions. Absolutely. I'm also going to be talking about this past weekend, had my first convention, which was the Madison MightyCon Comic Con. Very excited. I'm just glad I'm back out there. And I'm glad. I mean, it was the show was packed. I mean, it really was a busy show, but I'll get into that in just a little bit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to say is YouTube and Facebook. Okay, I have to put this out there as kind of like a disclaimer kind of a thing. The music in the background, yes, I have permission to use that music. That is my music for the studio. That's some of our cartoon music you guys hear. So if you hear anything in the background, that's exactly what it is. It's just our cartoon music. Because it gets kind of quiet sometimes when I'm not talking. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Hey, Bill, I haven't forgotten about you either. I'm also going to talk about commissions. So, yes, I've been completely horrible for years. So, yes, I am going to address those things as well. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm just going to start. If the music is too loud, guys, just let me know. And also, feel free to share this video at any time, too. The more the merrier, I think. So what I like to do is I always like to work on going from kind of how we read, going from left to right. So, and usually I like to start from the back working front, but I'm going to do work on the front first. So I'm going to work on the characters. And as you see, this is a little different because I already have the shadows behind them, which really just makes this piece stand out. It's just super, super, super cool. I'm very, very excited about this piece. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with their skin tones. I'm just making sure my hand is kind of out of the way. And I think I had posted that I'm doing a piece I've never colored before. Well, I have colored this piece before. It was a little bit different, but I have colored this piece before, but like a variation of it. So what's going on here is, you guys remember in Alice in Wonderland how Alice got yelled at because she was painting the roses red, the Queen of Hearts roses. Well, she decided, well, what the heck? I mean, if I was getting yelled at by painting red roses, then why don't I just paint them blue? You know, kind of like the same color as her dress. Well, see, you know, Alice had a point there. You know, the little son of a gun that she is there. Because technically, you can't yell at her because you're yelling at her because she was painting the roses red. So now she's painting them blue. You can't really yell. That was her mentality behind painting them blue. All right. And for those of you who don't know, please feel free to go to our YouTube page at Jeff Balke Studios on YouTube. Please feel free to go there and subscribe. I want to try to get as many subscriptions as I can. The more subscriptions I have, the more I can do with YouTube. All right, and since I'm going to be using the same color on Alice skin tone wise, I'm going to go ahead and get her skin tone all fleshed out. All right, now I have a couple of comments, so give me 1 second here, guys. Comments are a little further away on my computer. Hey, Terry. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to show depth, which is why I added the shadow in the background. Um, I love how these look. These just really put them in a whole separate category with me anyway. Because this is something that you've never seen, that people really haven't done or haven't done at all, except for with animation cells, you know? Okay. So, yeah, as I was saying, this past weekend was my first convention of 2022, and it was good. It was good. And now people always ask me, Jeff, how do you balance out? Like, how do you know it's a good show? I mean, okay, let's put it this way. Finances always will balance out a good show. But for me, and I was explaining this to somebody who just started doing conventions, which is so cool. Um, but he was telling me that he was talking to somebody who just walked up to him, and it was someone who's in his field who also does drawing. And this is someone that he would never talk to before, and he got to talk to him here, there at the show. And it's like sometimes that's what really makes it. That's what makes the show. Talking to peers, talking to people who are just like you. You all have the same, we all have the same kind of mentalities. Like, we all love comics and drawing and art. Sometimes that makes the show. Just standing and talking with people. And that was my thing over the weekend. So kind of going back, to Jeff, what made it a great show for you? It was the talking. I started kind of going back a little bit on prints, or what I call cartoons. And basically what that means is, I don't have as many as I had in the past because I just didn't want so many. I think they're very important to have. I think they get people to your table. Absolutely. But that shouldn't only be the only thing that you're really trying to do is push prints. If you have a new comic book or you have something new coming out, you want to promote that. You want to get that out there. Well, I have a whole studio to promote, so um, we have a couple new art collections, which I'm pretty excited about, adding a little depth in with their skin tone. So for me, it was a great show because I got to talk to a lot of people about the characters, what's new projects that we're working on, including our new comic book, which will be coming out in September. So lots of really cool and fun things I was doing at the show. But what's kind of funny is that there's one thing that a lot of people were complaining about, fans, illustrator, artists. One thing they were complaining about a lot, and that was basically how many different kind of prints, how many different artists are out there that are drawing the same thing. I thought that was very interesting because I had said that a long time ago and people thought I was nuts. But okay. Oh. So on skin tones now, I'm kind of doing it somewhat a little bit different. I'm kind of adding a little more depth with the skin tones, as you can kind of tell here. Um, just because the skin tones are they're kind of important when it comes to animation or films in general, because everybody has skin. So I kind of want it to stand out just a little bit. Oops, sorry guys. I also got to meet a couple of people who follow me here on, at least on YouTube, or was watching me on YouTube. So that was pretty cool. That was neat. It's always so cool to see, to meet people who who are following you. They don't know where they heard about you, but they follow you and they know they've seen your work, and that is such a cool feeling. I had that a lot this weekend on Sunday. So it just means I'm doing something right. And I had some people over the weekend ask me if I had any more like Alice in Wonderland or fairy tale type stuff, and um, I didn't at the time because I just retired a bunch of cartoons, and so I really didn't have tons. But a couple of the hand colorings I had sold out pretty quick. All right, so the next thing I'm going to go on. So that's all I'm going to do with their skin tone. There's not a whole lot I'm going to do. Let me add a little more of a shadow. Not too much. So I also got to meet a gentleman. He is a writer. He worked for Warner Brothers. Some of the cartoons that I used to watch when I was a kid, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's like you're here. He lives in Madison now. He's been there for a couple of years, so he moved right when the pandemic happened. Always happy, uh, and um, he's just trying to get the word out there, like what he's working on, what he's doing. Right now, he's doing a lot of stuff for Ukraine, for the war. He's trying to like raise funds, and so a lot of people are. So I'm going to help him out with that as well. Um, he and I were kind of talking about it briefly, and yeah, so I'm going to help him out with that a little bit. I guess I'm adding a little more shadow than I thought. That's okay. Oop, oh, this marker is running out. Okay, there's skin tones. Where are we sitting? Here we go. Let me put it over here. Okay, here, we'll do it that way. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to work on her crown. So like I said, I like going from left to right, so just like how we read. So I'm gonna work on her crown first, making sure it's in the screen here. So because it's gold, I'm doing like the old school color gold here. So it's just basically yellow and white. So if you had like just a square of gold, you know, um, in a cartoon, it basically would just be a yellow square, yellow box, and then it would just have like a white streak through it, showing that it has a highlight and then it's gold. So it's kind of the same kind of thing that I'm doing here with her crown. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So now I'm going to work on her hair. Okay. Again, just trying to make sure that my fingers and hands are out of the way. But needless to say that this weekend, this Sunday was pretty good. It was nice to get back out there. It was nice to see people again, face to face. I don't mind Facebook. I don't mind all that. I really don't. Talking to people live, I really don't mind it. But sometimes you just need that personal touch. Just gotta shake someone's hand. So it was kind of nice to do that. Changed my mind on what I was going to do. Just right there. Okay. So I just realized when I looked over to my screen, I've noticed that it kind of does like a stop motion kind of a thing. So I've never seen that before until today. So that's something that's new I've never seen. All right, and just because I'm already on it, I'm going to do just a little bit of highlights in her hair. I don't want to keep them all completely white. So today was kind of a cool day. I got to talk to, I'm actually doing some tryouts for some of our characters for voices, and I was talking to the actress who's going to be doing, who I think is going to be doing. I know she already agreed to it. Natasha Squirrel. So as soon as I heard her voice, I'm like, "You're it. You're Natasha." And there's another gentleman I'm talking to, and he's got about two other voices I would like to work with. Billy Billington, our duck, so Billy, and then also I think Bandit. So, but yeah, it was really cool talking to her today. Who's going to be playing Natasha? I'm not going to go into anything quite yet, but it's really cool. It's really exciting to see literally my characters like flying out of my imagination onto the art page, drawings and prints and stuff, to comic books, and now going to be on the big screen. It's really cool to see that. Um, it really is a big kid's dream come true. All right, so next, where am I? So the Queen of Hearts dress, I kind of break up into different colors. So bear with me just a little bit as I kind of jump around here, only because there's multiple colors on her dress. Yeah, last week for anybody who was waiting, I so apologize for last week. Man, let me tell you, time just really flew. I mean, it flew. And I was just falling behind, trying to get ready for the show. And yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy city. But from now on, I will make sure that that does not happen again. I'll do one more side. Sure. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then all the way on this side, yeah, just a little more of this color. And get the heart here. Actually, I'm gonna make those a little darker. All right. Now this is a color that I don't use a whole lot of, and it's called wine. It's a nice dark red color. It really just it really pops. Okay. There we go. So again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot them out there. Sometimes I forget that I'm live and I just kind of get in my zone, which is why I wanted to play the music today. And again, Facebook, YouTube, just so you guys know, in case you're listening, yes, I have permission. Yes, I can prove it. Yes, this is actually all for my studio. So there. Somebody had mentioned to me, the young lady that I met um, at the show on Sunday. She had told me she watches me on YouTube. She watches me do this with her kids, which is really, really cool. So, hello, if you're watching. But she was telling me, she goes, that my YouTube just like shut down one of my videos for a little bit for some reason. And the only thing that I can think of is that maybe I was just playing music in the background. That's the only thing I can think of. And that's why I have to say, I got to kind of put that little disclaimer out there that yes, I do own the rights, so on and so forth. So next up on my list for shows is actually the DuPage Comic Con in DuPage, Illinois. So I've been doing the MightyCon shows for years now. They're fun shows. They give back. They're about art and comics. They don't do the whole big celebrity thing. Every so often, a Power Ranger or two or some villains, but that's about it. Nobody, none of the big names where where they have to charge like $145 for you guys to walk in the door. That's not what they're about. So you do a lot of those white lines. Because it just kind of separates the front and the back a little bit too. So I take the purple, like I said, and I made this very colorful. Ah, come on, there we go. Marker wood, please. Okay. So tonight we're gonna go see the Batman, and we're gonna go check that out, see how that's gonna go. It's getting a lot of great reviews. But we don't necessarily listen to reviews, because reviews, everybody has an opinion. So even if the reviews are bad, we still go watch it. If the reviews are good, we still go watch it. It doesn't matter. We're still going to see the movies regardless anyway. If we enjoy it, we enjoy it. We're the one paying the money. So we've seen some flops, where reviewers have said, "Hey, this is a horrible movie," and we have to go see it, and a couple of them have been flops, but not many, not many for us anyway. We're gonna do this kind of like a yellowish color because we're gonna let's separate some of that. There we go. Some of that red and some of that purple. Let's get some yellow in there. Okay. There we go. Trying to find the right color here. All right, so I'm just going to add a little shadow. Not a lot. There we go. So that's the queen. Now we can work on Alice here. Now for Alice in her hair, I kind of do something a little bit different. Usually I would just do like just yellow, call it a day. But I'm going to add a little more depth, kind of like I did with her skin tone, just to kind of give a little more personality. So hopefully this comes through on the camera and you guys can see it because it really is cool when it's done. Again, those shadows behind them are just make them look like they're stepping right off the page. That's what I love. One second, guys. Oh, okay. Just checking my comments, making sure I'm not missing anything. Nope, I'm good. Almost looks like a bale of hay. Kidding. No, I'm not really. It does kind of look like a bale of hay. The hair shine I definitely want to get in there because again, it kind of separates, kind of makes it look 3D-ish. This past weekend also at the show, I always bring my markers with me, always. But for some reason, I decided I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to bring them today. Nah, because we have a new setup, and so I was kind of like tinkering and playing around with that a little bit longer than I anticipated. But it actually the setup looked great. We couldn't do it exactly how I wanted it, only space wise. But coming up, hopefully in the very near future, we will be able to. So I'm looking forward to it. I already talked to the promoters about that, and they're for it. So, but I usually bring the markers, and of course, and because always at the MightyCon shows, I have at least one person who comes up to me and says, "Hey, can you color this up for me?" And I'm like, "Sure, no problem." Well, I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be there this time." Well, guess what? He was, and I didn't have my markers, so I felt even dumber. I'm like, "I'm so sorry," but he goes to all the MightyCon shows, which helps, which is good, because I'll definitely see him at the next one coming up in a couple of weeks, so I can work on commissions. Commissions. That's something else I've been having a problem with lately. Um, commissions, I am going to start. I have to start actually catching up on these. Uh, with so much that I've had going on over the past little while, I know we've all had stuff, going on. But with the stuff that I've had, it kind of affected my work, big time. So, um, with that being said, I'm going to start catching up on all my commissions because I mean there are people who've been waiting for quite some time, and I feel horrible that they've been waiting so long. But no more. The wait is over. I'm got to get these done. So anybody out there who's waiting for commissions, I'm going to start kicking my butt into gear and busting these out this week. Let me just drink here. Okay. Okay. So now I can work on her dress. Luckily, her dress is pretty easy. There we go. Making sure I'm on. Okay, you guys can see that. Good. What also sets this piece aside from a lot of other pieces I've done in the past, besides the big, huge shadow you can see behind them, um, I also basically do the entire piece. This entire thing will pretty much be fully colored when I'm done. And that's one thing I want to start giving to you guys. It's like more of an experience, kind of a little, just giving you a little bit more. Well, that means more money. No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I mean, however, this is a hand coloring that is available, so you can definitely purchase this one. This one comes all matted up. All the ones that I've done so far, they all come matted up and they're still available. So if anyone's interested, just go to Jeff or bulkystudiosart.com and you can go and purchase whichever one or ones you like. This one, of course, is not up there yet, but it will be. Um, I just totally had a brain fart. That's all right. Oh, but yeah, you can go online. You can go on, like I said, bulkystudiosart.com, and you can purchase any of the hand colorings I've done. But keep in mind, though, you may see like this particular piece, I may have like 5 or 6 of them. Like there's like a limited edition of like 10 of these, let's say, and all 10 of them are going to be original because I'm hand coloring every single one of them. So you can't hand color the same thing twice exactly the same way. So that will be different a little bit. Sometimes you'll also get the background might be different. There may not be a background. I may just do just like this, call it a day. But I'm going to add a little something to this one, though. Not much, but a little something. But I love coloring these. I never use this color, and it's amazing that it's dried out, getting dried out. And that's probably the reasons why it's getting dried out because I don't ever use this color. So now I'm going to go back to my light gray that I had, which is 30% warm gray. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shadowing. Don't need to do too much. Yeah, like I said, I don't need to do too much. Just a little bit to kind of give it a little bit of like a 3D kind of effect. I will take the lightest gray that I have and add just a little bit of white to all this stuff. Now, again, I don't know how good this is coming up necessarily on the screen. I can kind of see it, but in person, it's a whole different ball game. Like, it just looks really cool. Because that white really does set it aside and kind of give it more of that 3D effect. Like, just, pick her up with your hand and put it in her pockets. You put it in your pocket. So a little bit of hair right here. All right, so of course the important part is I have to get the color blue. Take that down just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then, of course, we're going to put the blue also on the roses behind her. That's how I can kind of cheat that, because now with me just doing that, now I could go with the other blue, and I can kind of go in there with that lighter blue color like I did with the brush. Because sometimes, you don't have to be exactly precise. Can you? Absolutely. But you don't have to when it comes to certain things. It's what your mind sees. Take this lighter blue. Okay. Now I'm going to take a light blue. This may not show up on the video, but I'm going to take a light blue, and I'm going to go and do my little sketchy sky. I'm doing this like this because, again, I don't want to take away from the whole point of this piece, which is Alice getting in trouble because she's painting the roses blue. But kind of keeping with the theme, that's why I did that blue sky. Very light blue, very light blue. What color are you? Okay, sometimes I gotta get a piece of paper and just make sure this is the color I'm looking for. And yep, it is. So now I'm just gonna color the grass underneath them. Because with all the blue and the red, it's looks great. And the shadowing, it looks awesome. But let's add a little green in there because green will definitely offset all the colors and it'll really, really make the characters, the ladies, pop out. Look at that. Oh, I like that. That looks so good. Looks That's like a relaxing green. This color is called lime peel. Okay. I guess I can almost see that. But now I'm also going to do one more part. I'm going to do the actual bushes behind her or behind them. Because again, I want to add just a little more of that green. Yeah, that's what I want. And plus with that the blue roses against the green, that'll really pop. But you know me, gotta have my lines. So remember, this is also available for purchase. So if you do want this one, what's cool about it is that you physically watch me color the entire thing. So it will be matted up in those black and white V groove mats. Size is 11 by 14. So you can still see the shadow behind them, which is really cool. Um, then it really kind of looks like an animation cell. Just trying to make sure I've got the what I'm doing on camera, not going off camera too much. So I like to highlight, outline the parts that I'm going to be doing, because then I'm not going directly right next to the black line. Because sometimes you go outside the lines when you're trying to be very careful like this, and you try not to do that. I mean, if you do, it's an original piece, so there could be some boo-boos here and there, but you don't want them to overpower what's going on in the piece itself. Making sure. Okay, good. How cool that looks. I love this. And follow the rose back there. Okay. Found another rose back there. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to color up this rose. And okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there we go. So there is the finished piece. Woohoo! Oops. The sun's coming in, so it's kind of nice. You can see you can kind of see the sun on my hand and on the piece too. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice to finally be seeing the sun out here. Yeah, but there you have it. So let me try to get this. Get my phone so you guys can get kind of a closer look, so you can see the shadow. That looks really cool. So again, Alice is being yelled at because she is now painting the roses blue, which she didn't think she'd be yelled at because she was painting them red in the movie. So why should I be yelled at for anything else? I guess she don't want them red. So she's painting them blue. Queen of Hearts and Alice. And you can see the shadows. You can see some of the streaks of the markers, but that's okay. Zoom out, you can see the whole thing. Gosh, that looks good. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so let me. Hello. All right, guys. So I just want to say thank you very much. I so appreciate you guys stopping and checking this out, sharing, caring, liking, commenting, all of that fun stuff. I really do appreciate it. As you can probably hear from my voice, I did a lot of talking over this past weekend, so I'm just starting to get my voice back now. So I'll get it back in time. So about a week and a half from now, I can lose it again at the DuPage MightyCon Comic Con show. And again, we just have a really cool setup that we're trying to do, and we'll be able to do it this year for sure. But space wise is starting to become kind of an issue because everybody wants to set up at shows, which is awesome. There's a lot of people going to these shows now, so that's even better. People want to get out of their house. I think that me too. So, but thank you guys again very much. I hope to see you at some upcoming conventions soon. But this piece is available for purchase. It is going to be only $45 with free shipping and matted, and of course signed. So this piece can definitely be in your home if you wanted it. But again, it will be on bulkystudiosart.com. So again, if you were interested, you can just let me know in the comments here. You can private message me. You can email me. You can buy it right there on the web in the store. So there's a lot of different ways if you wanted it. But again, thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate it. Any comments? Nope, no comments. So next week, next week Tuesday, 3 o'clock Central Time, I'll be right here again. Another new episode of Coloring with Jeff. I have a brand new piece possibly a new character that I'm going to be introducing to the world next week. I'm not sure quite yet. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but next week, if I do the new character, then that just means that I might be doing 2 colorings next week, Tuesday. It just kind of depends. So um, we'll see how it goes. But anyways, thank you guys again. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeff Balke Studios, if you haven't already. And then if you're watching on YouTube, thank you guys very much. Also, check out the Jeff Balke Studios page on Facebook and like us over there too. I know liking and all that kind of stuff, it just gets out of control. But yeah, so thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week, Tuesday at 3 o'clock. All right, take care, guys. Thank you. Well, I gotta go. Forgot. I gotta go over here. I gotta go over here. See if I can get this all